Lately, with the menu 5 activation in Zcash, some of you may have problems with their ZEC in Ledger. Specifically, that Ledger will not let you withdraw coins from Ledger Live. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to transfer the seed from your ledger into Ywallet in order to have access to your account. So the first disclaimer here, the main disclaimer here, is that inputting your seed, specifically the seed of a hardware wallet, into something that is online, it's an online wallet, somewhat diminishes the security of your wallet because it will no longer be fully offline. Since at one point you use the seed on an application that is connected to the internet, there is a chance, albeit pretty small, depending on your security practices, that your computer is infected with some malware, and that it manages to steal your seed phrase the moment you entered it, in any external application. So, well, on the other hand, there are cases where you can't just wait until your ledger or your wallet upgrades, and you surely want to get your coins before it's too late. Alright, for these cases, this is what this video is about. So we start with launching the app, a fresh install of the app, which in this case will not have anything inside, of course. So once you launch it, okay, then it would create a default account for you. That's a Whitecash account. So this account we will ignore because we are doing a Zcash account. So just ignore the main account and go and create a new one. So when you go and create a new one, you have to put Zcash. You want to scan the your QR code, or if you don't have a QR code for the seed phrase, you can enter the seed phrase manually. You have to enter all 24 words. And then don't forget to switch to Zcash, of course. Put a name for this account. I'm gonna call it Ledger. And then click on OK. Then afterwards, you'll be back to the main account manager, to the account manager, and then select the Zcash account. So click on tap on the Ledger account, and that will bring you to the account page. At this point, it will show you the option to rescan. I'm gonna rescan. This wallet is very young. I just created it for this demo, so it's only a few days old. Therefore, I just need to scan a few days back. So I go to the calendar here, and then I tap on the date option, and I choose on the calendar 2 days ago, which is in my case the 8th. Then I let the app scan. That should be fairly fast because that's only 2 days. Then once that's done, I should have the account balances. So it shows me the account balance of the main account on the shielded address. But if you have a ledger is it's only for transparent addresses, you would have 0 balance on the shielded address. Alright, so back to my account, I see that there is some balance on the shielded address, but in your case probably you would not have anything because the ledger does not support a shielded address. However, there's a chance that you have something in your transparent address. So in my case, again, there's nothing in the transparent address. You can see you tap on the QR code and it will switch to the transparent side. And you see here there's zero ZEC in the transparent balance. That's because for a ledger, what they do is they use the same seed, but they derive they can derive several accounts, so several transparent addresses. I think typically they do one new address whenever you click on the receive button. So that's their way um, to protect your privacy, or to that's the way to enhance your privacy. So that if once you use a transparent address to send funds, they will not reuse it. They will give you a new one. With the same seed, you can derive fairly very large amount of addresses, easily several billion addresses without any problem. So there's no more big loss in using one address per transaction. But for us, for our application, for Ywallet, we don't know how many addresses you have used, because we don't know what the ledger has done. So by default, we restore the first address, but now we need to scan to see if you have used other addresses. And the way to do that is to go to the account page. So we go back to the account manager, and we press the plus button to use the scan transparent address option. This will essentially look for all the addresses that have funds, so transparent addresses that have funds. So it would try first address, which is the one you have. Then it would, if there's nothing in there, it would look at the next one, and then if there's nothing in there, we'll look at the next one, and so on and so forth. So it would stop when there are it's configurable, but then when there are 10 addresses in a row that have 0 funds. So because we actually don't know how many addresses you have used. So the heuristics is that after 10 addresses that have no funds, then the scan stops. And it's possible that for some reason you have actually a large gap, that you have let's say 20 addresses without any funds, and then suddenly one address with a fund. If that happens to you, then you go to the settings. Well, we'll see that option maybe later, but you go to the settings, and then you increase what we call the gap limit. Alright, so in our case, we just wait for the scan. I'll pause the video, that's why it takes longer than it should. And now the app has shown you the transparent addresses that it has found. So in my case, it's only one. Then I click OK, and it would create the as many accounts as needed to as many accounts as it has found. And in this case, what it showed you is that the first account is the one you created, the ledger, and then there was a gap of 4 addresses. So 1, 2, 3, and 4 were empty. And then if it found that account number 5, sub-address number 5, has some funds. It has like 0.3 millisec, and that's the one it restored. So if you had like 10 of them, then it would have 10 accounts like that. So then what you want to do next is actually want to sweep that money. So you want to transfer the 3 millisec here out of this account, and maybe you want to send it to another wallet or something, right? So by default, Ywallet does not use your transparent balance. It will force you, it would not force you, but it will ask you to shield any transparent amount, transparent balance, before you can use it. That's because transparent coins are visible on the blockchain, and Ywallet wants to preserve your privacy, so it wants you to use shielded addresses as much as possible. But yeah, there's still an option to do it, but that option is something that you have to do it voluntarily. It's not going to be on by default. So we go to the settings, and we have to turn on that option. This option is an advanced option. So first you have to switch to advanced. You have to click on advanced, and then click OK. Then that updates the menus. So then you have to go back to settings and scroll down until you see use transparent balance, and check it. And you see also down there's a gap limit. That's the settings I told you about. if this value is too small and you can't find the coins that you expect to see, then you can try to increase the get limit and retry. The reason why it's not super high is that there's some work and some yeah, so the scanning is not completely free, right? So if I cannot put like 1 million and scan 1 million addresses. Every address has to have to be queried on the backend, well, on the server. So by default 10 is reasonable, but again you can have possibly a larger gap. All right, so we continue. And now if we go to, we select the sub account number 5 because this is the one with house funds, and then we can go to the send, press the send menu, and now we can see that you can send from that account as the transparent balance is now usable. You can click on max, so you can see that the amount in ZEC is 0.03 millisec minus some change. Okay, so after that you should be able to shield or do whatever you want with your coins. Alright, that's the end of this video. Hope it works for you, and if you like it, then like and subscribe.